there. Thank you so much for joining me for this interview.
You're very welcome.
Would you like to mind introducing yourself to our watchers?
My name is Marron. I was made by Creature of Interest. So, uh, me, the human underneath, I'm Elliot, and I am the owner and sole employee slash maker at Creature of Interest.
What and who is your persona?
So, this right here, I'm Marron. I'm a Oriental short hair, um, British type. Also, I'm a Havana Brown, so they're kind of the same thing. Two different breeds, but they're also the same breed. It's kind of hard to explain, but one's a color and one's a breed.
So, like a subspecies?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. They're domestic cats. They're a type of domestic cat.
Where did you get your inspiration when making your persona?
So for Marin, I actually it was when I went to Fernal Equinox for the first time, which is it's a convention in Toronto. I stopped at a place called Lens Mills, which is a fabric outlet in Toronto, and I found this fur, this really nice brown fur here, and I bought all of it that they had. Um, and then I was trying to think of something to make with it because I only had the one color, and this fur is a very unique type, and I knew I wouldn't find any type to match it exactly. So I had to find an animal that was completely brown and had very short hair, and that's how I ended up finding Marin because his breed, the cat that he's based on, is a very short-haired cat. That's why they're called Oriental Shorthairs. They have really short hair. And Havana Browns are all brown, even their whiskers are brown.
Is he your only persona or do you have more?
I have another persona. His name is Bubble. He also has a fursuit. This is his tail on my logo right here. He is the creature of interest. He is my original persona. He's a species I created. He's got a lot of different colors, and then my partner, my husband, has a character that's the same species, and the colors are reversed, so he's mostly black with white highlights.
I actually cannot see the logo.
Let's see if I can. There we go.
There we go, people.
So that's his tail, and that's my. I have the rest of him, his fursuit, but his eyes are not in him, and he's just a mess right now. Actually, I have his arm. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can dig it up. I had his arm. Never mind. I don't know where it went.
I took
It
it.
was. Sorry, Christopher. Hey, buddy.
It's a kitty.
I just accidentally kicked him in the butt when I was looking for the arm. But anyway, yeah. Um,
How did you find out about the furry life and what made you want to join?
um, Honestly, I don't even know how I found out about it. And I wanted to join because I wanted to make fursuits. As soon as I heard about fursuits and saw them, I didn't only want to own one, I wanted to specifically to make one. Um, so it's been about, I'm going to say, 6 or 7 years now since I actually considered myself to be part of the fandom, and about 5 years or so that I've actually been making fursuits.
How has your experience been since being a part of the fandom?
Um, Pretty good. I am not super, super active as much as other people are. Um, I only go to like one convention a year, and I don't go to fur meets. So I'm not super, super involved, but I do like to help out other makers or beginner makers or answer questions about um, different aspects of things for newer people who are just starting out in the fandom. So yeah, it's
Uh,
been good.
have you had any embarrassing moments while being a furry?
In fursuit specifically, I let me think. I walked into a garbage can because vision, very limited vision, right? So I was wearing my other fursuit, Bubble, and Bubble is a stompy suit. So his feet are like that. They are just massive, massive feet. Um, and so walking in him is a little difficult. So I had no idea. I couldn't see ahead of me, and I was just being a little bit crazy and trying to run. And I smack dab right into a garbage can, and it was like an elevated can. So it was like, whoa, right in the chest. And I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. And everyone was laughing at me. And I was just like, well, the character is actually blind. So,
It works
like,
out.
the way his eyes are, yeah, you can, hang on. I actually have his eyes somewhere here. They were here. Oh, there. Put them over there. So this is his eye.
Ooh.
Yeah, so well, my fursuits, I make them with removable eyes. So sorry, I'm going on a tangent here, but so sometimes I put Bubbles' eyes in Marron, because I like to dress him up as a uh, Star Wars character and pretend he's from Star Wars universe. So it just makes him look a little more like, you know funky for the Star Wars stuff that I do.
Hmm.
So anyway, uh, yeah. So Bubble is actually blind. Like his like, as a character, he's blind. I don't pretend to be blind normally when I'm wearing him, but that time I was blind.
What is one thing you dislike about the fandom?
Um, Top dislike. I'm gonna have to say the way kids are treated in the fandom a lot of the time. Young, very young furries. Especially like newbies, but especially young furries, young kids. Like they get shunned a lot, and they get treated meanly when they try to make their fursuits sometimes, or they feel like sometimes like there's just too it's too adult, and it's Sully. Sorry, I have two cats. One's quiet, one's not. Um, so yeah, I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves about the fandom is how rough it can be for the newer furs, the younger furs, especially because they are our future. We have to treat them like they are precious because they really, really are. They are going to carry us on.
Sorry, I kind of like my I went on a mental tangent for a minute. So it's like I got a fork and just like stabby stabby, carry it on.
Yeah. Uh, so as I was saying, I just was saying that the young furs gotta treat the young furs better.
Let's say that you're not socially awkward at all or shy, and you met a total stranger, someone who has never heard of the fandom at all. How would you describe or explain what the fandom is to them?
Oh, I'm good at this one because this happens to me all the time. So basically, how I explain it, I go through what an anthropomorphic animal is. I say So basically, we are fans of anthropomorphic animals. Anthropomorphic just means having human characteristics. So we like things like Disney characters, Looney Tunes, all the different, Rocket Raccoon, all those different types of animals that do human things or look kind of like humans, cartoon characters, all that stuff. And what we do is create our own fandom around those characters the same way that other people create fandoms around other popular media, such as Star Trek conventions or Star Wars, when they have the Star Wars troops that get together and dress up, or even LARPing. That's the kind of stuff we do, basically. It's just focused around anthropomorphic animals. And most people, once I compare the fandom and how we dress up and how we make our characters, once I compare it to, say, the superhero fandoms or the Comic Con or all that stuff, that it instantly snaps in their head like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They are dressing up, they're cosplaying, they're not doing weird sexual things, they're doing the same thing that Star Trek fans do, that comic book fans do, that people who like to dress up, that's all it is. It's just dress up.
It's like Halloween, but all year long.
Yep.
If you had a warning to give to those who are just starting out or who haven't joined the fandom yet, what would that be?
Um, a warning? Hmm.
Kind of like a PSA.
Um, hmm. I don't know. I guess it would be, don't over expect things. Don't expect things to be a certain way. Don't expect there to be certain rules, certain limitations, certain boundaries. Realize that just because some people assume that things are one way, it doesn't mean it's going to always be that way. Um, there's a lot of assumptions about the fandom, and there are a lot of crazy things about the fandom that a lot of people don't really realize happen, and that's okay. But you have to go into it with an open mind because you never know where this fandom's going to take you.
Oh, God, you don't. What would you say was your best or favorite moments have been since being in the fandom?
Um, definitely fursuiting, like different times when I've gone fursuiting, um, meeting little kids and just their, like the way they just light up, especially with Bubble because he's so big and bright and he's got all those colors. And when I am in Bubble, I just am so excited and very childlike, and I jump around, and the kids absolutely love him. Um, and it's just wonderful. Um, and interacting with other fursuiters is always great. It's just such a different energy from everyday life. It's just so invigorating, exhausting, but at the same time invigorating. Which is, such a juxtaposition, but at the same time, it's it's what happens when you have a good time.
Has being a furry changed you at all since before being in the fandom?
Mm, I would say yes. I mean, getting very involved with any particular community or activity is bound to change a person, but I can't say that I'm, uh, what's the word, maybe introspective to enough to be able to. It's not something I've considered well enough to say, oh yeah, this is how it changed me, because it's hard to see change in yourself. Um, I think maybe it's made me a bit more open minded, more creative. more impassioned. But yeah, definitely the creativity I think is the biggest thing with like seeing how other people make suits, how other people perform their suits, other people's characters and stuff, and it just really inspires me to make myself better, both in as a fursuit maker and as a performer. So, yeah.
What is your opinion on fursuits?
Obviously, I like them. There's only a few types of fursuits where I'm kind of like, I'm not sure that I like that type, but hey, you do you, boo, right? Everybody has their own thing. So, um, I want to try and make as many different styles of fursuit as I can. I want to have lots of diversity, and I want to try different things that haven't been tried before. So
Did you make
yeah,
that suit head that you're wearing?
yep. I made him. Like I told the story before of how I found his fur. He's actually. It's been like 3 years now, and I haven't finished him. I still haven't put his paw pads on. Um, yeah, and I did some experimental stuff with him. His eyes are made of polymer clay. I need to make new eyes for him because these eyes are not fun for seeing. It's very difficult to see out of him.
Well, where do you see at?
Um, Out of the pupil.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Yep.
it's so
Like
tiny.
most of my suits, the full eye you can see through, but these ones are a little different. So, yeah.
So, what is your head made out of? If you could list it.
He's made out of foam. He's a squishy boy. Yep. He's got fleece. The ears are lined with fleece. Inside the mouth is fleece. The teeth are fleece. Um, he's got. I think his pupils are like a stocking of some kind, like a nylon stocking. Um, he's got on the inside of him. He's got some spandex. There's like a spandex cap on the inside that holds his jaw in place so that it will move when I speak.
What parts do you have of him?
He is a full suit, so he's got arms, hands, a bodysuit, and feet. And his bodysuit is like a jumpsuit without the arms connected. I put the bodysuit on after I put the arms on, so that the bodysuit goes over the arms, and the arms extend all the way around my shoulder. Um, and oh, he's also got a tail, of course, because cats have those mostly.
What other parts do you have for your bubbles?
Bubble is also a full suit. He's similar to Marron in that his paws are kind of weird because they come up to here, and then the rest of his arm is his first is connected to his body. Uh, but yeah, he's also a full suit. I wish I knew what I did with his arm. I had it. Let me see if I can see where. What? Ah, I found it. Okay. I got him. This is his. This is Bubble. This is the arm of Bubble. So
Oh, that is
see, it's
big.
quite large. Yeah, I need to. His fingers are getting a little floppy, so I need to kind of fix that a bit. But yeah, this is Bubble's arm. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite a difference in size. He's quite a chunky monkey. And this is a pre-made I'm working on. I just happened to pull that up. This is a skull creature of some kind. Not sure what I'm doing with it yet, but it's got a fleece face Wanted to try making a suit with a fleece base. So, yep.
How would you rate your experience with the con that you go to?
So the main con I go to is Vernal Equinox. It's in Toronto. It's, I'm gonna say, a medium-sized con. It's, I think, the second biggest con in Canada after Vancouver. Um, it's good. I enjoy it. It's got a lot of great atmosphere. It's not overly huge. The very first con I ever went to was the one in Chicago, MFF. That was wild. It was insane. Word of advice, do not pick the largest con as your first con. Pick a medium to small con so that you do not get overwhelmed. um, yeah, uh, Fertile is a good con. They they are starting to really up their game with as far as like who they have as the guests and what kind of panels they have and like the dance competition and everything like that. I think last year and this year, their one of their guest of honors was uh, Don't Hug Cacti. So that was really cool to meet such a big name maker and someone who's been really a staple for fursuits these past, like, I'm gonna say 10 or more years. So that was really cool. But yeah, it's a good con.
What was your
Very Canadian.
worst or oh wait, I messed that up. Hold on. What was your worst encounter or interaction you've ever had with another furry?
With another furry specifically,
Well, like someone in the furry fandom.
hmm, let me think.
Because I
Um,
know people have more issues with non furries than with furries.
hmm, yeah, I don't think I've had too many bad interactions specifically with furs other than like just local drama kind of stuff, like really just um, stuff that isn't really that involved with furries specifically, but it comes up at the fur meets or like at conventions or whatever. Just a lot of drama. I'm really lucky because I am very good at avoiding drama. Probably the worst was that my roommate almost kicked me out last year at the FurCon because she was very intense about keeping the room clean, but also at the same time didn't let the room cleaner come in to clean the room. So
That's a bit
yeah,
confusing.
it got a little stressful. Yeah, and then my other roommates accused me of stealing stuff, and it was just I was very it was very bummer for me. I enjoyed everything else except for those couple of roommates. That was stressful, but other than that, it's been pretty fine. I avoid drama. I am very solo. If people come say hi to me, that's fine, but the chances of me going to say hi to someone else are pretty slim. So, yeah.
In your opinion, why do you think furries in the fandom is so appealing?
Well, I mean, it's a fandom full of big, fuzzy, lovely, cuddly, giant animals. I mean, what isn't appealing about that? Like, what isn't appealing about the creativity? What isn't appealing about uh, just all the fun that happens in the fandom, the dances and everything, and the just the spirit of it all, and on top of that, all the fundraising that is done, especially at the cons, like incredible, unbelievable. It's just amazing.
Which animal do you think is the most overused for a persona?
um, Probably like the generic canines, like the huskies and wolves. There's so many huskies and wolves. I It's unbelievable how many huskies and wolves there are. Um, yeah, definitely huskies and wolves.
What do you think is a good way to help the community get a better reputation to those who might not understand?
um, just know how to explain it in a way that makes sense to them. If they ask you about it, don't go off with, oh, it's not sexual, it's not this, it's not that, it's not the other thing. Don't do that. Stay calm and say, this is what this is what you can compare it to. This is a thing that's familiar to you, and I'm going to put my thing that's unfamiliar to you into the category of things that are familiar to you. That's why I do the comparison always with the conventions,
Hmm.
because a lot more people know about the comic book fandom and people doing cosplays, people dressing up as superheroes, than do about the furry fandom. And I just say, well, basically, that's what we do. We just do it with our own animal themed characters. That's all. It's not that different.
What
And
is,
if they bring up the
oh, sorry, go ahead.
sexual thing, like the fact that there's a sexual aspect to the fandom, which a lot of people do like to do, because, there's been certain things that have given us certain reputations. Basically, I just say, well, that happens in every fandom. It really does. It's just we got a bad reputation for whatever reason.
It's just more heard of for us than for anyone else because it's talked about more.
Yep, yep. Because it just gives a bad it it's it's just a way to make us look bad, basically. So, if you just say, well, it does happen. It happens everywhere in every fandom, in every it's just people like to play up in the furry fandom because it fuels the fire of us being weirder than other people, when really we're all the same level of weird, just a different flavor.
What flavor would you be?
Chocolate. I mean, come on, isn't it obvious?
Well, you could be a hidden white chocolate. You never know.
Maybe. I don't know. I got all strawberry in my ears. Maybe.
What is your opinion on the stigma people have about the fandom?
Um, I think it's obviously unwarranted. It comes just from not understanding, just from plain. I mean, I don't want to say ignorance, because ignorance makes it sound like it's really super negative. But I don't think it's negative. It's just they just don't know. They just don't know, and they don't really care enough about it to learn more. Uh, that's not to say they wouldn't learn more if they were given the right opportunity to be willing and put into a space where they could be willing to learn more, right? It's all about how you interact with things. If you never come across that positive interaction uh, with something that's related to a certain thing, um, like the furry fandom, if you never meet someone who's actually part of the furry fandom and you just hear about it secondhand, third hand, your opinion is going to be very different than if you know a bunch of people who are actually in it. So the first time you meet someone who's part of it, if you have those guarded reservations about it, but the person directs you in a way that opens up your guard, then it's easier to let people in and understand it more.
How do you react to hate?
Um, I've been really lucky. I haven't gotten too much hate. Usually I just react with, oh, well, you know, you want to be hateful? Be hateful. It's not going to help you get any further along in life, really. Um, I've only gotten hate in my fursuit like one time. Uh, and it was really, I don't really want to talk about it too much because it was very negative. But literally, we were in a park with like where there was a big event being held and we had permission to be there. And literally, there was probably 1,000 people there, and we came across like two that were causing us trouble. So, like, you got to think of it in the grand perspective. For everyone who hates the furry fandom, there's going to be 1,000, 100,000 who are completely either indifferent, unaware, or enjoy the furry fandom.
What is it about the furry community that makes you happy?
Um, the creativity. I love the creativity. Um, the self-expression, the cute animals, uh, just everything cute. Oh, hi, Christopher. Don't do that. It's rude.
And our last question. Would you be offended if someone slapped you with a crepe?
With the what?
With a crepe.
Like a pancake?
Yeah, it's one of those thin pancakes that you put like strawberries and like cream and stuff like that in it.
Well, I guess it would depend on the situation. I'm not easily offended, but if I'm in my fursuit and you go around slapping me with a crepe, I'm gonna be like, whoa, there. Does that have butter on it? Does it have stuff in it? What is that? Why are you hitting me with that? Is it gonna mess up my fur? What are you doing?
I can hear purring.
Yeah, that would be Christopher.
That
He's
is a loud purr.
yeah, he's purring like literally right in the microphone. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're
Go away,
fine.
that's rude. Go.
Now, are there any last little tidbits or anything yet you want to say?
Um, hmm, just have fun. Don't 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 be reactive about things. Don't get overly upset if people don't like the fandom. Don't try to push the fandom on people. Just keep it chill. Enjoy it for yourself, not to try to recruit other people or anything like that because you know that's what gives the fandom a bad name is people are always like people thinking that you want to push it on them when really that's not what we're all about. We're just about being creative and having a good time, having fun, and loving what we love.
Well, awesome. I really do thank you for taking the time for this.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, see you next time.
Bye bye. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to give a special shout out to God of Gun Iron on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting me.